It's his stream?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great question, actually.
I have
Exactly
people
what
who
the question.
This was all just a setup to play his stream.
No, he got it. He's helped me out, so he definitely gets a shout out for whatever.
Just put in general.
I don't trust
I have
this.
people who wanted to
Doesn't
watch,
have
Wait, who, me?
and I just closed mine.
Mine's just on my profile.
Fear, open paint.
Wait, who is
I
it?
feel
Zach.
weird. I don't like it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna open paint yet. I don't know right now.
I can.
Okay, let me.
That's later.
Who is Red Balu?
Wait, I'm in the wrong.
That's
Definitely.
that's not be in.
That's who Red?
Fuck definitely for launching.
Did he play?
Yeah,
He's
he's
the
duo.
Team Fist right now.
Oh, was he the? He was the one of the duos.
Yes.
He's Ingan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Cool.
I'll look at you right now.
I mean, he hasn't responded, so.
His mic.
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
work.
yeah, there you go.
Oh, his mic doesn't work, right?
How you feel, Val, dude?
So I'm just, so you're. Let me just look through a little bit more of the names real quick. On the left. Kavat, you were in with Mr. John Ferris, right? Yeah, you probably don't know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You were twice. That's all I know. Yeah, yeah. There were some swap issues, like for example, Obi Chow should have came back in for I think another map, but
No, we Goober had 2 maps, and I think OJ had 2 or 3.
did we only do 4?
Yeah, we only did we did 5 maps. Ingen and the duo guy got 3, and then I got 2 in the middle.
Oh, okay. I mean that's
Because we started really late.
Oh yeah, because we were waiting on Mr. Majin K.
Yeah.
Yeah. Worth the wait though. I mean, he popped off. Anyway, I think the only people that did something egregiously bad, and by egregiously bad I mean like something that I noticed immediately without any like macro concept or anything, was the other main tank obviously, and then B-Man now, which is Ingan. It wasn't egregiously bad. It was just like very very low value. I feel like you never got a solo pick, which is normal. Sometimes you're not lucky with Hanzo or whatever. But the amount of space that you had with, and I know that you didn't have much space, but at the times you did have space, you were just straight up missing shots on things that should be super easy. And when I'm talking about like actively avoiding your shots, I'm specifically talking about things that you had a cross section on that were 80 strafing, and you just straight up missed like 3 or 4 fully drawn arrows. Like your mid-5 value is very low. On the other hand, your Mr. Love is Rage was popping off every single goddamn time. Like every hit scan that he played, I feel like he had a ton of impact, and he brought back fights, in my opinion, that were practically unwinnable, all by himself. So on average, you guys balance out to where you're slightly lower than what we need, in my opinion. Now, my opinion doesn't matter. I'm not your coach, you understand? I'm just saying that. Oh, you're typing at me. LMFAO, I gotta grind to Hanzo. Yeah, you're damn right. Yeah, the fact that you guys are a duo, I feel like sucks for me. Because I feel like Kavat plus Mr. Love would have been Pog, and you guys would have actually had a chance against Zebra Zaf, even with the fact that you didn't have any space at all. But I mean, if you guys are a duo, that's fine. No shade. You guys love playing with each other. That's fantastic. I love to see that. Just on average, like you're way worse than your duo. So stop getting carried. Get on that grind, like you said. Okay. And then I don't think there was anything else egregiously wrong. Now I'm gonna look in the VOD to see, who's actually cutting, whatever the fuck. So here, when you're playing Reaper and Doomfist, it's very important that you swing wide and get space first. Swing wide is a concept where you spread your space map long ways, so that the Rhine has to shield 2 angles like this, and it naturally puts them in a pussy position. Very, very simple stuff. You want your Reaper to be not on this side, but on this side, shooting at the Reaper, even if it's from a distance, and then pushing up. The Doom should be helping secure that space by threatening a punch there and then diagonal punching that way. This little crevice right here on both sides is very, very important space to be captured, I guess. The team that controls that space on the other side just insta wins the fight. Okay, so red team here is playing aggressive. I don't know what the green light was. Obviously, you guys can't hear it, but I think I'm with Mr. Majin K. No, I'm with red team right now. Wait, am I? I don't care who I'm with. Okay, so no bubbles. I'm assuming was called. So they push in Zaf. So there's a concept called new space. Okay, new space. And this is when you know exactly when to flank the opponent. So new space is a concept in which you're pushing the enemy team into somewhere that they have not been before. Very simple examples, and I will show you this now. Obviously, you can do it on here, but specifically, I want to show you more examples. Sorry about my desktop. I know it's messy. DJ. Okay, so common concepts or common situations of new space. You'll see like a McCree. I know your comp games or whatever. You'll see that like a McCree will stand here and shoot and kill like 40 people or something like that. You know, on average. And the reason that is because they're probably accidentally using the concept of new space. New space is where, once again, you're pushing the enemy team somewhere that they haven't been before. So, for example, the Ryan pushed up because you know they had a spawn advantage, or they won the previous fight or whatever, and then your Ryan pushes them back because they're at a disadvantage now because for some reason we got an advantage of this choke over here. They start moving back like this, right here. Now they're in a new space, which means that they haven't had a chance to check their surroundings or been able to look for any flanks or whatever. So as they're moving back, you have a McCree right here. What happens here is the McCree is able to get free shots simply because the enemy team is backing up. They're already low, and in order to pressure this McCree, they have to continue their rotation, which further lowers their resources. They're probably too low to push the McCree, and if they do, they just instant die. This is an example of new space. You're pushing them back to where they haven't been before. Okay, another example of new space is another map on Lijiang, and you see this this sort of example very often, more often than the previous one. Looking for a flank shatter or whatever, and the enemy team pushing in. This is also an example of new space because they have not been here before, so they're going to push in. They're not going to check their corners because they're bad, and then they're going to get death loss into death. Very, very simple concept. Okay, so when looking at the fucking Jesus Christ, I'm such a boomer. When looking at the way Zaf came in, you guys were not over here. You guys started here, moved here, so you guys didn't have time to check this side. See, now you're backing up. It's too late. Zaf already gets a bunch of value. This is an example of using new space. Very, very, very textbook use of new space. Does that make sense to everyone? Does anyone have any questions about that?
I've returned. What's going on?
So no questions. All right, I will continue.
Well, that was a question. Kind of. I just wanted to get a catch up.
We're gonna go back and watch this again. Okay, so Zaf uses Wraith for literally no reason at all. No one was even looking at him, and then gets fucked by Love. Easy clap. So now it's even. -1 has a Reinhardt. So there's this thing called one down fundamentals. One down fundies. Yay. So it's a concept in which if you're down a specific asset of your team, for example, tank, DPS, support, you play a different way based on which piece is missing. And Reason already knows most of this stuff, but if you're missing a tank, you split. If you're missing a DPS, you group. And oh wow, that's a P by the way. And if you're missing a support, you group and you play aggressive. or play fast, if you will. So tank, you split because typically they're gonna try to push their advantage with like a shield or with just overall space. They're gonna try to swing wide on you because you don't have anything to contest off angles. So you split so that they can't take as much space as they normally would be able to if you guys were all together. You make their shields practically useless because once again, as I was telling the other guy, Rhine shields don't block 360 degrees of damage. Hell, they only block 180 degrees. So anything above that angle is doing damage to the enemy Reinhardt. So they don't want to push into splits. It's like if it looks something like this, and the enemy Rhine is here, he's having a bad day. So that's not going to happen. So you want to split when you're down a tank. When you're down a DPS, you want to group because overall you need the damage from your tanks to make up for the DPS that's not being shot at the enemy team because the DPS fucking died. You only have one DPS. Overall, you will typically lose that fight because you don't have enough damage. But at the same time, if you're all together and all the damage is front loaded with your tanks, you have a chance to get a pick because that's enough accumulative damage to do so. Get a pick, kill something, get something low, yada yada. And then if you're down a support, you group up because you only have one support, which means you have less healing. I know that's very, very obvious, but you have less healing. And typically, most of the stuff, like if one of the healers die, majority of healers are AOE healers. So if you're together, you'll be able to heal more, yada yada. And the reason there's no way in hell you're going to out-sustain the enemy team if they have two healers and you only have one. So you need to play really, really fast, aggressive, and together so that you can get the maximum value out of your individual healer. Okay, very simple one-down fundamentals. I suggest you guys remember this. So we're down both DPS. Blue team is, and you guys are down a tank. So what you should be doing right now, red team, is you should be splitting. Doob could probably take this angle. Brig could go with Lucio towards stairs and take that space, and I want to talk about that too. And then Zarya can go main and be the main, I guess, dagger or arrow or spearhead to the push. So that if they try to push the Zarya, they're going to get punched into a wall by the Doomfist from the left. This is the wall that I'm referring to. Doomfist coming from that way. And they lose if they push you. Also, they have no damage whatsoever, which means their one down fundamentals are going to be to group up and try to do as much damage to the tanks with the tanks as possible. And as we mentioned, if you split on an enemy Reinhardt, it makes it a lot harder for him to block damage, right? So overall, if you guys play this perfectly, red team should win because these guys lost tank and we lost a heal fucking DPS, 2 DPS in fact. Any questions about one down fundies at all? Pretty catchy name, right? Who agrees with that? Pretty catchy, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Big brain.
All right, we
very
continue.
good name.
So far, you guys are not executing that. I mean, you sort of have an off angle with Zarya. You have a Doom pushing this way. You have a Lucio pushing this way. So far, your macro is basically intact. You guys are all together for the most part. But I want to show you guys something. Look at this. You guys are split, so you're automatically winning. So the things that I'm going to be talking about are going to be things that you guys do naturally and automatically, but I'm going to be putting objectivity behind these concepts that you use on a regular basis. Objectivity is something that you can look at objectively. Objectively meaning, it's not subjective. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. If that makes sense. I hope that
It's
makes
something
sense.
you know, but now you know why you know it.
Exactly. Exactly that. Good shit. Kavat.
Yeah.
So yeah, notice how he has to back up and yield space to someone that doesn't even have a fucking Reinhardt, right? That's not because like this is Majin, right? If it were the other, it's red. Never mind. He has to
Okay.
yield space. He can't do anything. Red. I'm not. No shade. Since he doesn't, we take angles. We split like we're supposed to, accidentally, of course. We shoot the Rhine, fuck him up, fuck his day up. His life is over, and then we move on to the next thing. And theoretically, red team should win this. Nothing crazy bad so far. You guys should be like, I hate that you guys are all running together and you're down a tank. And I know you're down more than that, but specifically you should be splitting so that you don't have to, like, all of you aren't just chasing this Lucio with the exact same fucking LOS. That's cringe as fuck to me. Like like split. Like if one of you is shooting from this way, the other one's shooting from this way, and the other one's shooting from this way, and he's just chilling on this fucking dildo, kill him. Don't just chase him around. You guys don't have speed. He does. Oh, you might have speed. You do have speed.
I was vibing, dude. Maybe hold this. I think we hold this to like 41 or something like that.
Which is unacceptable.
Don't look at
So
my
once
beat,
again,
please.
I want the Lucio to be spread here. I want the Brig to be coming over here. They have a Rhine, we don't. We need to be splitting on the Rhine. Very, very important.
Don't look, don't look, don't look. I didn't land on the
Huge
pillar.
shatter from red.
That was big. The grab and the shatter pug.
And the red team finally gets the point. Okay, Opie Chow suggests she has rally, which is good. So there's a thing about this this meta, if you will. Since there's no May, chokes are a figment of your imagination. They do not exist. Do this little fucking circle with the line through it thing. They don't exist. May makes you terrified to go through chokes. Without May, chokes do not exist. You just play super aggressive passive choke, execute multiple tempo swings, tempo swaps. You do not have to play slow or in any manner on any sort of choke whatsoever. The only thing that you'd be concerned about here is the Doom punching you into this little fucking into this mini wall. But outside of that, if you're just chilling at choke, the problem is you're gonna get spammed out. You can't hold chokes like you typically can in a normal death ball, if you will, comp. Is that a hand raise, Zeph?
No, I was just asking if the stream.
Oh, stream not working. Yeah, I hoed Zeph. I'm sorry. I had to
Fine.
replace my graphics card because my other graphic. Anyway, I can't do
Fine, it's
both
fine.
at the same time right now.
It's
I
fine.
apologize. Anyway,
Um,
what was I saying?
Does hand raising work now that we're in the video?
Zeph, there's someone else streaming it.
Hand raising?
It's
Do you have a
posted in
question?
general.
Oh shit. Okay.
Or actually, is it posted in general?
All right, let me finish this point, and then I'll open the floor for questions. Okay, what was I
Okay,
saying?
gotta go.
Oh, yeah, you can't fucking chill at the choke because you have Lucio Brig, right? So what teams are doing in contenders at least, or in EU at least, is they're holding on the point and trying to catch you guys at these chokes here. These chokes back here, you know what I'm talking about. Because if you stand here and your Rhine choke gets low and you lose armor packs, the more armor packs you use here, the better the advantage the attacking team has. Okay. Best thing you guys can do is stay out of sight and then immediately fucking gas pedal their stupid asses when they're not expecting it. That's the best thing you can do. Poking at the choke is not going to help you guys in any way. They have cover that they can use. They have different angles that they can use to sort of mitigate your damage, and you're gonna on average you guys are gonna use more armor packs. It's gonna fuck you guys in half. So if you guys are planning on holding choke, I need you to run past it and be super ultra aggressive because you have Brig. Any questions?
I mean, you kind of went over where current teams hold over by the like other staircase. I was thinking a common place I saw that Doomfists like to hold and teams like to engage off of is at the round door up this staircase. The Doom will stand up there, and then the other team will come from the other side. Yeah, up there. And then when the enemy team goes through choke, the Doom will like punch or slam in, and the rest of the team will engage on that. Is that a common thing, or is this something I'm just seeing from less
So
experienced teams?
that is so scouting is very important when it comes to holding chokes specifically, especially on Koth. I'll get to your question in a second, Mr. E-Man. I see it. I would assume that the Doom is scouting here, and in the event that they push this way, he can just come back or whatever. Probably not. That's probably not the case. Doom punching here or slamming there means that your tanks must be out of line of sight, which means that they have to engage further past where they're standing. I think that the Doom in a higher elo or a higher echelon situation just gets insta melted because of where your tanks have to play fundamentally. If your tanks are holding here and the Doom is here and your tanks have to get pushed out, you lose that fight anyway, even if the Doom kills 2. Not only do they have spawn advantage, but you have 0 armor packs if that's the case.
And
You
you're kind of
insta lose.
forced to fight there, even if you have to kite, unless
Right.
unless your Lucio can get you out.
But the Doom will have literally 0 cooldowns if he does
Yeah,
like
he would
punish
have to
them.
he would have to slam back to the team, and they would have to like hard disengage back to point.
Yes, it would be very bad.
Yeah. I don't know. It was I think this was a like a top 16 OD team. That was doing this, but I don't know.
I mean, macro wise, it's kind of cool, but like it doesn't make much sense. Maybe it was maybe it was Moira instead of Brig.
Yeah, it probably was not Lucio Brig.
Yeah, probably not.
The heal combo.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna press play now. Any other questions? Okay. So here, look, that fire strike just did so much damage. Like it only did half to Zac, but that's an armor pack. That's 6 seconds. You're probably gonna have to armor pack red because you don't want to be on healing or whatever. That's an armor pack to red. Armor pack to red. Zac still hasn't gotten healed. So rally to rally. Rallying defensively in this situation doesn't make much sense. You want to be on the forefoot when you're rallying. Very important that you're playing aggressive with your rally so that you're getting constant value. Similar to what Otos did here. It was a good play from him. Unfortunately, the tempo was a little bit off because we decided to chill at a choke. Naturally, red team is at a disadvantage here, as I've discussed ad nauseum at this point. So mirror Doom ults. Zebra's a 4.4 Doom one trick, by the way. I know he's not actually a one trick, but he plays Doom a lot.
I don't know, 4.4.
Oh, not anymore.
I was not. I peak 4.3. Relax.
Nah. I always think of your SR and then Zafs. So here's the thing called stabilizing. I know you've heard it before, but this is exactly what it should be. You push a target, then you push some sort of environment, and then from that environment you push a target, and then environment. And I will go through more detail right now. It seems very simple, but I want to show you guys the macro implications of what it is. Maps.
Real quick, I missed the last fight. Was there anything important that I needed to know?
Yeah, don't hold chokes as Brig.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. So control center, right? That's where we're at right now. So ignore what's on your screen except for what I'm drawing right now. I just want to show you guys the basic win condition stuff. And if you're on Reason, you definitely understand this diagram. So you have Brawl, Poke, Dive, and this is how you win as Brawl. You are yellow, by the way. You move from close space to closed space. Closed space being, close. I have a lesson on closed space and open space, so go watch that if you're fucking lost. But this is how Brawl works, moves from closed space to closed space. Poke works, you are here, and you shoot across open space. You typically want to be in closed space when you're doing this. And you want the enemy team to be moving through open space however you see fit. You're going to counter rotate to continue this cycle. So, for example, if the enemy team is on Brawl or whatever, they're going to like push you, and then you're just going to counter rotate to a different close space. And while they're running there, rather, you're still shooting them. And that's how poke works. And then dive, very simple. You're either jumping from closed space to closed space and diving, or closed space to open space, but you're either catching them in a rotation or you're pressuring them out of a certain situation or pushing them into a certain situation. For example, if you're playing Pharah dive, example Eichenwald, you'll see that pushing them back into closed space and then jumping from there is very, very crucial versus like this sort of execute dive playstyle where you're going to catch them in the middle of the rotation. Typically, you have like a Sombra with EMP or like a ball with Slam or something like that. That's where you see this. Does anyone have any, or is anyone confused about these basic win condition maps? Okay, moving on. Since we're playing this Brawl composition, we're going to be wanting to move close space to close space. So, and I think I've talked to Reason about this before, but so this is close space. what you're going to want to do, move to another closed space, 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 and that's how it should look. Typically, there are going to be targets in between. So what's going to happen is, like for example, we'll say that this is a sigma or something weird, right? So your grind is going to move to pillar or dildo, whatever you want to call it, and then he's going to say push sigma stairs. Okay. What that means is push sigma, and if he gets out, recoup stairs. So he's going to be like, yeet, push sigma. If either sigma dies or sigma doesn't die, it doesn't matter to you as Ryan's teammate. You will position stairs 100% of the time. If the sigma gets low enough to where you guys have to push in through open space, the call will change from sigma stairs to sigma 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 sigma, right? I'm sure you've heard that multiple times. I'm sure that shit's been misused in your teams or whatever, because I'm pretty sure all target calling below, like, I don't know, top OD is just insert character here, spammed ad nauseum, right? It's just like, right, no. That's not effective target calling. What you guys' coth maps typically look like right now is something like this, which is not playing to your win condition. You're in the middle of open space for multiple seconds for absolutely no reason. You have no chance or no reason to be there, and you're not getting any value from standing in open space as brawl. And I'll show you an example of that from you guys' play. This is going back to this. So like here, we're using closed space. We're doing it effectively, yada yada. And by we, I mean all of us. Then we have this Zarya in the middle of fucking nowhere for no reason at all. You should be near this wall so that you're peeking there. And if you want another angle, you can move all the way up here, maybe even go behind if you don't want instant damage, and do that. If you want to be creating space from here, you move to here and you take this angle here. But this is closed space because it's cover. But you should not just be standing here in the middle of open space, AD spamming. That's not how it works. Same thing with this Zarya. You're just backing up. You're just letting your fingers do whatever the fuck they want instead of thinking about it. You need to be moving to cover every single time you move, especially as a brawl team. And if you want to take multiple angles from there, you can do so, but it needs to be to another close space. So like, for example, if this Reaper wanted to get behind them, I don't want him fucking running across here. I want him through dildo, through here, and then take an angle this way. And then if they push him this way, he has this cover. He'll just come back here and shoot them from either here or here. Very, very simple stuff. But your pathing in the middle of Koth maps is going to be the difference between you guys losing to a random fucking bullshit ass team and you guys not losing to a random bullshit ass team. Because if you're together, if you're coordinated and you're moving from close space to close space, the enemy team that's going to get stuck in open space is going to, on average, have a fucking deficit when it comes to the amount of health that they're allowed to have in their health bar. So Zaf just feeds there. Here's the important part. You guys just push him and you guys should immediately back up. Obviously, you guys didn't know this and I didn't say anything about it, but should have been obvious with the fact that you had a brig. And by obvious, obviously, that is a subjective term.
At this point, we're just taking spam.
Yes, exactly.
We're not even holding corners.
Right. Oh, did fucking that guy had a question, right? Where should Doom be? Here. Sorry, I forgot about your question. Right here. To threaten the punch into that wall. Roughly. If the tanks are positioned where they're supposed to be, then Doom is just going to be with the tanks. But if you wanted to hold choke, even though it's wrong, the Doom will be positioned here to force the wall pin on this. To answer your question in chat. So notice, I want to point this out. Notice how you guys are losing simply because you don't have any cover. Like your Rhine is swinging, everyone's taking a bunch of damage. Red's behind this cover, Briggs behind this cover, Zarya's behind the Rhine, Reaper's taking an off angle behind this cover. It's very, very easy for them to just do extra damage. And I'm not giving them credit for this. Obviously, it's being done subconsciously, but imagine the implications that it has if you do it intentionally, like on purpose. Very, very big, massive. Because Majin K got here, his shield was max half HP, and instead of sustaining here or pushing here and sustaining, he decided to go in with no shield and immediately got melted for it. So when you're in open space as Reinhardt, it brings up the concept of permanent shield damage, which is basically damage to the shield that, and I probably butchered that spelling, damage to the shield that cannot be replenished. Versus Red over here, if his shield gets damaged, he can just go behind the corner, have his Zarya hold the space forward, and then be able to recharge the shield, come back with a shield. Here is permanent shield damage as you're traveling, that open space or whatever. Okay. Any questions? No questions. Okay. Pretty simple stuff so far, right? Very easy, basic stuff. Cool. Oh boy.
Yeah, I had a really bad ball, unfortunately.
Recent voter Reaver Kings. Oh.
Wait, Red was playing ball?
He was, yes.
I was wondering what was going on with that engagement.
Okay. Honestly, we could have done it the other way around, where I was on Diva. Would have done really
Okay.
well.
Fidelity on ball. Does he play ball?
I mean, I do play ball, but like, I don't think it's good enough to like do it as a main tank kind of ball.
I see. Okay. So concept of this composition, and I don't think I went over it, but it's execute dive. In its core, I have a lesson on dive and the previous lessons if you want to check that out, and if you're confused about what execute dive is, pretty self-explanatory, but basically you just send two assets to go kill something. This is that to its core. Like you throw stickies, you slam something, you hack something, you slam something, you hit something with a Discord orb, you slam something. I'm sure you're seeing a pattern here. Yeah, EMP just wins fights, lol, and we continue. So the team that's going to win here is going to be the team that executes the most executions. Neither team can sustain in a long fight versus each other, so pickoffs are going to be very, very important. Hold up, my Discord's doing weird shit. Can you guys still see it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's there.
All right, cool.
It's better now.
Oh, I want to go back. Sorry, I was looking at other stuff. So Majin K gets hacked because he doesn't understand that Sombra is a character. We'll just say that he didn't know what the enemy team was playing. Omega lol. I wanted to see that 1v1, but I guess I missed it. So very important that you engage on kill boxes here. I know it's a very simple concept, but I'm going to show you the concept of heat maps. It's something that fucking Reason and I just recently went over. Heat maps. Okay, so you have brawl, poke, dive. Brawl looks something like this. This is you. This is your heat map. Poke, this is you. This is your heat map. And then dive, this is you. This is your heat map. Okay, and I know that's not really much of a circle, but this is also known as a kill zone. This is sort of what you want to be setting up. So in this situation, if you guys are all positioned here, your Sombra should be invis behind them, and you should be setting up to engage on this kill box. If not, you have this kill box to engage on. You can engage on this bridge if your ball knows to roll out to boop them all off the side here. Obviously, this is a massive kill box. Like this thing right here is massive, but you need to be setting up executions, like I mentioned. In order to do that, you need to be setting up kill boxes. If you're just standing there poking them, you're not actually executing the win condition of your dive comp. You're just standing there poking them. So typically with these compositions, the team that jumps first wins, simply because there's not enough peel with the ball. Even though there's a diva, it's not enough. Notice, something Chow. What is it? Obi Chow? Obi Chow, right? Not Ruby Chow.
It's OP Chow.
Yeah. Notice how she got fucking rolled because your ball went in first and engaged first, right? Very, very simple. You guys do not have enough resources to look both ways. You must be going forward every single time. Since you guys were slow, your Zen died. I think Majin overstays is welcome. No, he's fine. So losing your Zen, if you notice, looking at your team, you don't have very much damage. You have Echo with her beam that lasts 2 seconds, and then you have Sombra with her piss gun or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like you have 0 damage without the Discord orb. So the moment you lose your Zen, you probably lose the fight. Now this isn't like very like super ultra competitive, so you guys have chances to come back. But this is basically a lost fight the moment you lose your Zen. Yeah, fortunately for you guys, the power of not being able to kill stuff is strong on both teams. That is a strange engagement, Red.
Okay.
Yeah, that ain't no kill box, son.
I
gotta-
saw a discorded Zen and got greedy.
that's real rough. So that's an example of splitting your space map instead of spreading it, and you only want to do that with flanks. Also, while I'm on that, what's the difference between a flank and an off angle? Does anyone know?
Oh yeah, I know. An off angle, you have LOS of healers,
And a flank?
and a flank you don't.
Right. So the difference is LOS. Easy clap.
I got him. Got him good.
Zebra with that big brain, dude.
I want to see that because I'm pretty sure blue team engaged first too. Oh, well, red insta died. I forgot about that. But also the engage, you're up 2. There's no way blue team should lose this unless they choke up 3, up 2. I figured Majin went a little deep. Up 3 should be over.
I mean, if FDPS doesn't work out, you can put me in as a ball one trick.
Who said that?
No, I'm kidding.
Because I'll hold you to it. You heard Mr.
Alright.
Ferris.
I mean, if you want me to ring as a ball one trick, sure.
So once again, now blue team is failing to set up their kill box. They're just chilling on point because that's what Ball does. That's what he absolutely loves doing, just standing in the middle of the point. There we go, a little slow. Okay, so changing your engagement timing and your tempo is critical when execute dive. Like if you're diving the same place every single time, like if you're just chilling here every single time, the enemy is going to have a chance to set up off angles, set up things that'll stop you from getting as much value as you did the first time. You need to be mixing up your kill boxes when you're playing dive. So if you've been diving here, it's time to dive here, or catch the rotation through here. You can't dive the same time every time, you can't dive the same place every time. And the person that's facilitating these dives is your Sombra because she's invisible. She's behind them. She should be able to see exactly where they're going and be able to set up a kill box exactly where she wants them to be so that the ball can be set up and have plenty of time. The fact that he just stood in the middle of the fucking goddamn point for 4 fucking seconds is egregious. What a massive, disgusting waste of time. What's that concept? Does anyone know?
AFKing. I don't know.
Downtime management.
Downtime management. Yes, this is what separates top OD teams from contenders. Is downtime management. You'll see fucking top OD teams just chilling on point after they win a fight while they're talking, instead of walking and talking simultaneously and like stopping a choke or taking high ground. This is a big, big thing. Downtime management. Use every second you have to get an advantage on your opponent. So like this should have been an easy dive. Sombra was even over there. Easy dive here. But instead we just chilled on point for 4 seconds and then caught them while they were rotating. So now we must execute a dive here, but no one set up for it because we weren't paying attention. Red team gets to engage with a rally, gets to go in deep. Red team wins because they engage first. I don't even have to look at the end of this fight. It's already over. Blue team is out of armor packs.
I don't know.
It should be over. Fuck what you guys
fucking
think.
You'd fucking think.
That's highly unfortunate. What a choke. Oh my, I'm upset.
So what did I do wrong?
Yeah, then we come back fully.
It's unfortunate.
So did I just commit too many armor packs before the fight even broke out?
No, it's not your fault. Like you had to use your armor packs because
Oh,
the enemy team engaged first. So
okay.
you didn't get a chance to like pick and choose where you wanted your armor packs. You just had to armor pack people that were critical because they were critical first.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Your tanks did something wrong.
Easy.
Yeah, blame them. Okay, so here should still be an instant fucking dive. I don't know why any of these megas aren't hacked. It drives me crazy. The fact that we're not even trying to maintain mega control. They're just standing there, by the way. Instant dive. But we're just gonna chill. This is comp apparently. Majin gets hacked on a wide swing Sombra. Guess he can't aim at a Sombra. I guess Majin's not that experienced on ball, huh? I guess it's pretty lacking. Who said that? Who said, guys, you gotta push in?
Everybody's walking backwards. You even bash the ball and everybody starts walking backwards. That's funny.
Yeah, very strange. It was Zach that said, guys, we gotta go in.
Kind of weird rally. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I was gonna go
I think
back to see.
low, or did I just kind of YOLO it? No, he was low.
Well,
It's
you
just
just
a
armor backed them.
I thought he was
And they
gonna
were
die.
getting out.
I thought he was gonna die. I don't know. It was bad. I know.
Yeah, It was bad. Also, so engagement ults are important when thinking about where you're positioning and how you're holding. Like, obviously, I just said that both of these teams need to be engaging first every single goddamn time. But in the event that you find yourself on the back foot, mines is a good usage to sort of like block the enemy team's aggression. You can mine their back line and then just go for their front line so that their front line doesn't have healing or doesn't have line of sight or yada yada. Let's see. I think the rest of them are just offensive. Yeah, trance should be used aggressively here. If you're using trance defensively, you're probably still out of armor packs, which means you still lose the fight the moment you come out of trance. Aggressive trances here are very important. Everything should be used aggressively except for mines, which should be used defensively or to block their rotations. Just keep that in mind. So like this rally here to save someone, practically wasted. If you're trancing to save yourself, practically wasted. Because even if you sustain with those ultimates, doesn't matter. You should theoretically lose. Unless you're like big brained and say, I'm gonna trans, don't use any armor packs, because then that'd be pretty big brained. Then he gets stuck in a bush but keeps walking for some reason, so he gets stuck for longer. Any questions?
Is it not more valuable in this comp to save Trank for EMP? Or
No.
just because of the comp that this is, where you have almost no defensive options when everyone gets hacked, it's just useless to kind of counter that with Trank.
Yes,
If
you
that-
hack them first. If your Zen is hiding, he's probably dead anyway.
Okay.
Like, theoretically, the enemy Sombra should be able to know exactly where he is because this map is so open and he can't really hide. If he's hiding too far, someone's gonna die before trans hits anyway.
Right.
It's totally useless. You should use it aggressively.
So in an edge case where we want to swap the Zen for a Lucio for some reason, do I treat beat the same way?
Thinking. Yes,
Yeah,
you would treat
yeah.
it the exact same way.
Because the same problems are still there, and it's
Yes.
okay.
Even
Cool.
if it cancels your beat, like you're still totally fine with that.
Right. Okay.
Oh, pug.
Oh,
Is there like literally any situation which you'd want to hide with trance? Like maybe if it's like last fight or something, and it was kind of the only.
if
option?
it's your only ult, then you're gonna want to play aggressive to use it to build more ultimates.
Hmm.
It's gonna be real hard to try to convince me to use it in any type of defensive situation with that composition.
I'm talking even with different comps.
Like with poke, yeah, it's definitely valuable because you can survive with poke. Like if you were playing like I don't know Horse Sigma, Baptiste Zen, and then they have a Sombra of some sort, like Sombra of some sort. There's only one Sombra, but if they have like EMP and you're expecting it, it's safe to hide there because their team isn't just gonna steamroll your front line if they don't have healing.
Thanks.
Yeah. Because Horse is pretty durable, Sigma's pretty durable, even without abilities. And Orisa or Horse can react to EMP with the shit. This is what I was talking about, right? Like Zach got low, and he got orb, but it's like look at this re-engage. Like taking poke with this composition is very, very devastating. And just standing there is unacceptable for this exact reason. So Brig gets low. Gets orb. Even if she got orb, or even if Zach got orb at like a quicker time, he'd still be at like half or a third. And the Sombra died. Zach's fucking ultra dead at this point. Simply because they took too much poke. Make sure that if you're running Brig, as your main support that you're not taking poke unless you think you can win the fight or you think they've already used all their armor packs. Counting the armor packs mentally in your head, or a tank saying that they're out of armor packs is going to go a long way. In goats, I had my Zarya call the armor packs that the enemy team used because A, it was only one fucking armor pack, and B, if they didn't have 180 burst healing, we had an advantage. And typically, it's going to be the people that push those. It's going to be the people that force those abilities that I'm going to put on them to sort of call out if they use it or not. So if you guys see armor packs, specifically if you see 3 armor packs, call out no armor packs, play aggressive. Right, very simple call. And if you guys didn't know, armor pack is a 6-second cooldown. So once again, they engaged. You guys got low because you got poked out, and then they just re-engaged and killed you. Very simple stuff. So here, as red team, in order to not take poke, you're going to want to path somewhere that you have a bunch of cover before your engage or your dive or whatever. You want your Sombra to get behind them so that you can tell them exactly where you want them to dive. So for example, the kill box would be right outside of choke would be one. Lions or in between lions would be one. Like these are the calls you'd be making over comms. You could also be invis on where you want them to dive. Like for example, Sombra could be chilling like here behind them and just say dive on me in like 3 or 4 seconds or whatever the fuck. And then obviously the path would probably be from top right or somewhere over here. But if you're taking poke and they have like now they're postured on a choke, they have cover, they're pushing you in these long sight lines, you're going to take a bunch of damage and you're not going to have armor packs for the actual fight. Very important that not only does blue team not throw their lead by just taking a bunch of poke damage, but that red paths out of their line of sight before they engage. And that the Sombra is playing effectively and behind them. There's another engage. We hack red because he gets caught out or something. Maybe their Sombra was behind or Zaf was behind like it was supposed to be when red tried to take different space or whatever, Zaf hacked him. That's a good play on Zaf. Fight should theoretically be over. I don't see a single goddamn mega pack hacked at all, which is frustrating because of the poke complex where you're taking too much poke from the fucking Briggs. Hack a goddamn mega so that your ball isn't taking infinite amounts of damage and sucking up all your resources from your packs. Jesus Christ, Sombra players.
Fia, real quick before this
Yes.
fight starts, what's something I could be doing on Brig to make sure that my Zen is safe at all times? Because in that last fight, I noticed Otis is like directly to the left of me, and if I had rotated my camera like 90 degrees, I would have seen him, and I would have been able to save him. But because of the fight that was going on in front of me, I was not looking that way. So is there something I can do to remind myself, or is there something I should be doing constantly to keep him within my line of sight?
Well, if you're just chilling, you should be constantly surveying the battlefield. You shouldn't just be staring at a choke.
Right. I'm okay. I'm not talking about that. I don't do that shit. But like just making sure that I know where he is at all times. Is that just something that I'm gonna have to learn to do, or is there some way I can?
Yeah, so in order to make sure that you're aware of where your Zen is at all times, you need to be aware of where your Zen is at all times.
Okay, cool. That's cool. Yeah.
Very simple stuff. Also, make sure that you're proccing Inspire as often as possible and not taking a fuck ton of poke damage.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I'm thinking.
if their ball peaks, fucking throw your fucking rocket flail at them. Hopefully you get them. If you don't, whatever. But
Yeah.
huge advantage if you do.
Yeah,
I'm
my
sure you
rocket flail. Yeah, mostly on cooldown.
Remember, Inspire lasts for I think 6 seconds, and the cooldown's only 4 on the rocket flail. So once again, look at this accidental perfect kill box execution. So look, the Sombra is in the new space spot that I was referring to. Notice how naturally an engagement here is huge. Like, look at all the value you're getting.
Double mines.
And then double mine's hilarious meme play, but like really cool. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't. There's nothing that they could possibly do. They don't have a Lucio to amp speed to mitigate that aggression window. Literally nothing. You caught them in the rotation, and immediately executed a dive. Fantastic. So Zaf is trying to set up a kill box here. He called out an EMP, and this little area is exact words. That's not very descriptive. He's counting down here for EMP. Insta-kill Zen. Once again, another perfect execution. Zen loses 150 HP when he gets EMP'd. Very annoying for a Zen player. A slam does 100 damage on the epicenter. So insta-kill on the Zen. A defensive trance. Look at all the value you're not getting. See, that's so much value. 2 people are dead. Tons of value. That's sarcasm, by the way, gentlemen. Shit's trash. It's ass. Damn. So Zaf is preaching fight priority here, saying that he wouldn't use anything. It's 99-0. Fight priority, simple concept. Some fights are more important than others. If you have 99, the enemy has 0, you're okay to lose this fight. Don't use any ultimates and come back with the ultimates of yours because they're forced to expend ultimates to try to take the point. Very simple concept. And then you just come back with 4 while they have 0 or whatever the fuck. Obviously here, we're going to have to take a couple dry fights. They're going to be forced to use ults in these fights. All we have to do is force point. They're going to have to use an ult. And then we come back. Blue team is we, by the way. Come back and use our ultimates when they don't have any and we win. Simple fight priority concept. I think there's a lesson that I did about
Yeah,
that.
there
I want
is.
to watch that. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a death sentence. Like Fidelity's already half. He got discorded. Red's already half. Zach is taking some poke from something. And the fact that there's no mega hacked anywhere on the fucking map means that the game is pretty much over. Quick question, don't have to ask now. You keep mentioning all your lessons. Where are they? They are in the previous lessons tab, Frenchie. I'm sure you guys can see it's in text channels, previous lessons. There are a few, I think 4. Yeah. Ah, yes. No, you're good, man. Yeah, so there are 4. The first one is fucking 3 hours, but the rest of them I got a little bit more concise, and I think it's about an hour a piece. So, not too bad. Pressing play. Huh. Sorry, I want to go back just a little bit. I want to see that again. Sorry. Oh, strange engagement, Red.
Okay.
Who's a good hack target when you're trying to engage?
When you're trying to retake, or
No, to just in general with this team, who's
Bridge
the preferable hack target? Brig, Diva?
is fucking
it
useless.
depends. It
If
depends.
she's not talking, like Brig, because you can't fucking do anything if she's not talking. So,
If you already have the point, and the enemy is trying to attack, your main hack target is ball. If
So that they can't engage very well.
right, and if they do, he gets insta melted.
Yeah.
If you are defending, no. If you are attacking, so then I deleted the wrong thing. If you are attacking, primary hack target are the supports or diva. Sup or diva.
There's basically
And
no reason to hack Zen, right?
there's no reason to hack Zen, no reason to hack Ball on the aggress, no reason to hack any of the DPS on attack. You want to get a stationary mobile target, or immobile target, which Diva becomes when she's hacked, or Brig becomes when she's hacked, and pounce on that when you're retaking.
Okay.